been working and living in Mexico for nearly 3 months now, and in this video we're going to share how we save around $1,000 per month while here.
Let's start by talking about what our actual budget is. So generally speaking, we aim to limit our spending to about $33 per day Canadian each. That totals about $1,000 per month each.
Now that's on average. Some days we totally blow our budget, and on other days we hardly touch it.
It's important to note that that amount does not include accommodations. For accommodations, our budget is another $1,000 a month. So our monthly total of eating out, buying groceries, accommodations, taking Ubers and buses, etc. is about $3,000 Canadian.
Now some folks hearing that are probably like, oh my god, you can live like kings in Mexico for that much money.
And others are probably like, oh my god, that barely covers our hotel costs.
If you've watched our videos, you know that we fall somewhere between budget and deluxe travelers. We travel modestly, but we don't like to sacrifice great food and awesome experiences just to save a few dollars.
Alright, now let's talk about how we save $1,000 US per month, or about $1,400 Canadian.
If you are Canadian and you're interested in saving on flights from Canada, stay tuned to the end of the video to hear about what we do.
When you're in Mexico using your credit card or pulling money out of an ATM, it can be a little expensive with those foreign transaction fees and ATM fees. So our first recommendation is to get yourself a credit card that does away with all of those fees. For us, that's the Wealthsimple Cash Card. We absolutely love this card. It's a cash card, so you fill it up as you go, but it works exactly like a regular old credit card. Difference is you don't have to pay those annoying foreign transaction fees or those ATM fees. The only fees you have to pay are the local ATM fees, which are usually about 35 to 70 pesos. Overall, we think we save at least $50 a month using this card.
Having a Canadian phone plan, and we assume it's the same in the US, can be really costly. And as convenient as the roam-like home deals are when coming to countries like Mexico, they add up really fast.
Yep.
For our plans, it's $15 a day for up to 20 days each, so that's like $300 each a month. It's a lot.
To save ourselves some money, we use two different methods. We buy ourselves a local SIM card and an eSIM for our other phone. The total on those two things is about $50 a month. That's it, total. So that saves us about $550 per month.
And you can learn all about how we do this by watching our Mexico SIM card video.
On our previous trips, when we were more traveling and on vacation, we didn't really consider restaurant spending too much. But this time, working and living in Mexico, we've given it more thought, and we definitely are more deliberate in our choices around restaurants. So we're not sacrificing food experiences because that's such a big part of how we love to travel, but we are a little more intentional about our restaurant choices. We do think we're saving about $100 a month just doing a little extra research and making sure we find places that are just a little less expensive and more in tune with our different lifestyle.
We've also been watching for things like happy hour specials so we can have some of the great craft cocktails that we enjoy at a reduced cost. There's always options like that, you just have to be on the lookout. So along the same lines, this time we weren't traveling in Mexico so much as living in Mexico, so that meant the majority of our meals were actually had at home. This required us getting Airbnbs with really well-equipped kitchens, which we definitely did.
Okay, since we're in Mexico for a few months, we wanted to make sure that every apartment we booked, every Airbnb had a great kitchen, and this one is awesome. It's a fully stocked kitchen. It's exactly what we need for cooking at home.
And so by eating the majority of our meals at home, we'd say around 60%, we managed to save $10 per day or about $300 a month. Speaking of Airbnbs, and this goes towards our accommodations budget, obviously, this time around we were looking for places to stay that were just outside of the more popular tourist areas.
That's right.
So that, combined with getting monthly or weekly discounted rates, along with traveling during the off-season, helped us save, we estimate, about $15 per day or $450 a month. So in summary, having a credit card that saves on fees will save you about $50 a month. SIM cards for us on our two phones saved about $550 per month. By eating out more thoughtfully, we save about $100 per month. Cooking at home saves us around $300 per month. And we saved about $450 per month on Airbnbs by choosing outside of the tourist areas, booking for longer periods of time, and traveling in the off-season. That's a grand total of about 1,450 Canadian dollars in savings per month, or $1,000 US.
Okay, the last thing we want to mention to our fellow Canadians is how we save money on flights. We are big fans of the RBC WestJet World Elite MasterCard for 4 reasons.
First of all, WestJet flies to the places we like to go. That's primarily Mexico and Europe. For Mexico, most WestJet flights fly into the tourist hotspots like Cancun or Puerto Vallarta.
Yep.
So what we do is we use those as gateways to other parts of Mexico. For this trip, we flew into Puerto Vallarta and then bused to Guadalajara and Morelia.
The second thing we like about the card is that it comes with a companion voucher. So for 1 flight per year, you get a reduced cost on the other person's flight. And since we always travel together, we get 1 reduced cost flight. The companion voucher isn't as awesome as it used to be. And you only really save money on the base cost of the flight, not the taxes or the fees or anything like that. But it still does save you a few bucks, and that's really nice.
The third reason we love WestJet is that WestJet dollars are fairly easy to rack up and earn, especially if you use your MasterCard for all of your essential spending like groceries. We try to use it whenever we have bills to pay and all sorts of things like that as well.
The fourth thing we really like is that it allows us to have free checked bags, or at least 1 checked bag each. Now, we don't normally check our bags. We generally fly with carry-on only, but every once in a while it comes in handy that we don't have to pay for a checked bag.
And for this trip, we did take a checked bag because being gone for 3 months and traveling with a lot of gear and computer stuff, we wanted a bag to check, and it was great not having to pay for it.
All total for this trip, we saved about $700, which isn't too bad.
Well, that's it for this video. We hope you found it helpful and have picked up a few new tips for how to save money on your next trip.